Two eras, one star, timeless charm. From icons to timeless legends. Rediscover the stars of the 70s. In the early 1970s, Meryl Streep emerged from the theater scene, a Yale graduate with piercing intelligence and unmatched emotional range. She made her film debut in Julia in 1977. Her true breakthrough came with The Deer Hunter in 1978, earning her first Oscar nomination and launching her Hollywood trajectory with force. The 1980s cemented her legacy. She won her first Academy Award for Kramer vs. Kramer in 1980, portraying a complex woman with nuance and grace. Her role as Joanna in Kramer vs. Kramer was groundbreaking, a portrait of maternal conflict rarely seen on screen. It won her the Best Supporting Actress Oscar and established her as a force of nuance and depth. In 1982, Sophie's Choice became her defining performance, heartbreaking, poetic, and devastating. It won her a second Oscar and global acclaim. Out of Africa in 1985 showed her ability to carry sweeping epics, pairing her with Robert Redford in a timeless romantic drama. The 1990s brought diverse roles, from emotional dramas like The Bridges of Madison County to offbeat comedies like Death Becomes Her. In the 2000s, Streep found renewed acclaim. The Hours and adaptation reminded audiences of her range and brilliance. Then came The Devil Wears Prada in 2006, where she reinvented herself again as the icy, unforgettable Miranda Priestly, a cultural milestone. In 2008, she surprised audiences once again with Mamma Mia. Her singing, energy, and humor led the film to massive box office success, becoming one of the most successful musicals of all time. The 2010s were a parade of nominations. The Iron Lady earned her third Oscar, portraying Margaret Thatcher with intensity and elegance. She continued delivering in films like Into the Woods, Florence Foster Jenkins, and The Post, aging with boldness and brilliance. Beyond the screen, she's known for her powerful advocacy for gender equality, often using her voice at award shows and public forums. Meryl Streep isn't just a star. She's a living masterclass, a woman whose every decade gave us something unforgettable. Glenn Close began her career on Broadway in the 1970s, gaining critical acclaim for her stage work before making her film debut in 1982 with The World According to Garp, and earning an Oscar nomination right out of the gate. She followed that with back-to-back nominations for The Big Chill and The Natural, proving her consistency and power on screen. In 1987, Close took a darker turn with Fatal Attraction, delivering one of the most iconic performances of the decade as Alex Forrest, intense, raw, unforgettable. Though she became known for all, a year later, she stunned again in Dangerous Liaisons, embodying cunning and elegance. It brought her fifth Oscar nomination in just 7 years. In the 1990s, she shined in family films like 101 Dalmatians, embracing the villainous Cruella de Vil with theatrical brilliance and stealing every scene. She returned to the stage often, collecting 3 Tony Awards and commanding both screen and theater with equal mastery. The 2000s brought roles in The Shield and Damages, where she reinvented herself for TV and won 2 Emmys as the fierce Patty Hughes. In 9 Lives, she portrayed her performance in Albert Nobbs in 2011 earned her another Oscar nomination, this time for a role she also co-wrote and produced. Yet at the Oscars, she was passed over once again. 8 nominations, no win, a symbol of both greatness and injustice in Hollywood. She later embraced self-parody, dancing to debut at the 2021 Oscars, proving her humility and humor even after decades in the spotlight. In Hillbilly Elegy, Pfeiffer disappeared into the raw, real role of a broken mother figure. Though the film divided critics, her performance stood out for its brutal honesty and depth. Glenn Close is the definition of perseverance, elegance, and intensity. Award or not, her legacy is carved in stone. And Michelle Pfeiffer began her film career in the late 1970s, but it was her breakout role in Grease 2, 1982, that first put her in the spotlight, even if the film itself flopped. Everything changed in 1983 with Scarface, where she played Elvira Hancock. Cool, detached, and unforgettable, she held her own beside Al Pacino. In the late 80s, she became Hollywood royalty. The Witches of Eastwick, Tequila Sunrise, and especially Dangerous Liaisons established her dramatic chops. She earned her first Oscar nomination with Dangerous Liaisons, 1988, then dazzled in The Fabulous Baker Boys, 1989, singing live and seducing audiences with raw vulnerability. In the 1990s, Pfeiffer was unstoppable. She portrayed Catwoman in Batman Returns, a performance that defined the character for generations. She balanced that with emotionally intense roles in Love Field and The Age of Innocence, both earning her Oscar nominations. By the late 90s, she became more selective, focusing on family while taking on projects like 1,000 Acres and The Deep End of the Ocean. The 2000s were quieter, but she made an elegant comeback with White Oleander and the musical Hairspray, showing she could still steal scenes with ease. In 2010, she starred in Cherie and New Year's Eve, keeping her presence low-key but consistent. Then came Mother and Murder on the Orient Express, high-profile ensemble films that brought her back into the cinematic spotlight. Her performance in French Exit 2020 earned critical praise, reminding everyone of her emotional depth and magnetic screen presence. Off-screen, she's known for her privacy and dedication to family, a rare balance in the spotlight-driven Hollywood world. She joined the Marvel Universe as Janet Van Dyne in Ant-Man and the Wasp, gaining a new generation of fans. Michelle Pfeiffer has never chased fame. She let talent speak, a timeless icon who made mystery her signature. Sigourney Weaver launched her film career in the late 1970s, but it was one role, one name, that changed everything: Ripley. In 1979, Alien turned her into an icon. Ellen Ripley wasn't just a survivor. She was a revolution in female action roles. In Ghostbusters, she blended elegance with deadpan comedy as Dana Barrett, turning a supernatural horror comedy into a pop culture phenomenon. She returned to Ripley in Aliens 1986, delivering a fierce and emotional performance that earned her an Academy Award nomination. 1988 was a milestone year. She received 2 Oscar nominations: Best Actress for Gorillas in the Mist and Best Supporting Actress for Working Girl. In the 1990s, she continued breaking molds with roles in The Ice Storm, 1492 Conquest of Paradise, and the dark comedy Death and the Maiden. She wasn't afraid of genre work either, embracing sci-fi again in Galaxy Quest, poking fun at her own legacy with brilliance. In the 2000s, she collaborated with James Cameron again for Avatar, reuniting sci-fi with social conscience in a blockbuster package. Her voice acting added depth to characters in films like WALL-E and Finding Dory, showing her talent transcended live action. She's also earned Golden Globes, BAFTAs, and multiple Emmy nominations, though the Academy Award has always eluded her. Unfairly, many would say. She lent her voice to Finding Dory, playing herself, a clever meta-joke where she narrated the Marine Life Institute with calm, iconic authority. The 2010s brought Chappie, Exodus, Gods and Kings, and the return to Avatar: Way of Water, proving her range is still limitless. Outside of film, she's a tireless advocate for climate and environmental causes, aligning passion with action. Respected by critics, adored by fans, and a towering presence in genre cinema, she remains both grounded and legendary. Sigourney Weaver didn't just play powerful women, she redefined them. And she's not done yet. Kim Basinger began as a model in the early 1970s, then stepped into television with small roles, including a 1976 episode of Charlie's Angels that hinted at her on-screen magnetism. Her film debut came shortly after, in Hard Country, 1981, but it was Never Say Never Again, 1983, opposite Sean Connery, that made Hollywood take her seriously. She reached global fame with 9.5 Weeks, 1986, a sensual and controversial performance that became a pop culture lightning bolt. In Batman, 1989, she starred as Vicky Vale, the photojournalist with heart and nerve, and helped redefine the superhero blockbuster. Throughout the 1990s, she fought against being typecast. Roles in Final Analysis and The Real McCoy showed her dramatic range. In The Real McCoy, Basinger took on the role of a skilled bank robber trying to go straight, blending tension and maternal instinct in a gritty heist thriller. Then came LA Confidential, 1997, a career-defining moment. Her portrayal of Lynn Bracken won her the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. That Oscar win cemented her status as more than a beauty icon. She was an actress with gravitas. In the early 2000s, she took on more personal, subdued roles. I Dreamed of Africa, The Doy on the Floor, and Cellular showed a more vulnerable, grounded side. Her performance in The Burning Plain, 2008, was deeply introspective, playing a broken mother in a fractured family narrative. In 8 Mile, she played the troubled, working-class mother of Eminem's character. Raw, flawed, and painfully real. A bold return to mainstream success. Despite fewer roles in recent years, she's remained a figure of fascination, a mix of old Hollywood allure and modern resilience. In her personal life, she's spoken candidly about anxiety and public pressure, offering a rare glimpse behind the glamour. Kim Basinger is more than a femme fatale. She's a survivor, an Oscar winner, and an actress who never stopped evolving.